my friends, thanks for tuning in. Today I'm talking about some product pairings, some little combos throughout the makeup routine that I think are really working for me, and I wanted to share them. I know I've done at least one video like this in the past, and I find that like hearing this info from others, I'm always really interested to know like what little secret sauce you're coming up with at home when you use a couple things together. It's not always that you're literally blending them, but you're using two things together and they just really work. So here's the first thing. I've got skincare on, by the way, but I think I've mentioned before or done in a video recently, I've used the IT Cosmetics Do It All Sheer Tint Face Balm stuff. Why this has such good staying power on me these days, like throughout the summer, I'm not sure. Heat, humidity, whatever, like it's wearing well. But I end up dabbing on some of this Balm of Sunshine from Essence. This is the Face and Body Glow Balm, and I have it in the bronzy shade. Like there's a bronzy one that they sell and kind of a more highlighter looking one. The bronze one is called Seduction du Soleil, but I'm just finding the combo of these products is really working for me. So this summer in this product, I'm using the shade Light Neutral 210, and it's just this really nice, like ultimately kind of thin textured face balm stuff. And I feel like my skin is just totally agreeing. Whatever's in here, my skin's liking it. I've said before that I think the chlorine and just being in the pool a lot does dry out my skin a bit more, but I'll still sweat and stuff, you know, like if we're playing outside, it's getting hot. But this is just working for me. So I finger paint that on all over. And the little dabs that I'm doing are like really thin and pretty lightweight. So if it looks like, oh, a lot got on there, it's just like light dabs everywhere. And then I take some of this Balm of Sunshine stuff, which kind of reminds me of a Jones Road type of thing. Just the way you kind of mush into the product, you get it sort of creamy. And the pigment is not like wildly intense. As you can see, like it's not that dark, but it does kind of help the IT Cosmetics stuff like really look fresh on my skin, I think, and just seem a little more accurate to my skin tone right now. So it's like a little bronze boost. And then just take whatever blendy brush you want to use. I've got my e.l.f. Complexion Duo brush here. They blend in so easily because they're really, really thin. And the coverage is not full at all. I'm getting like a light to medium coverage look here, but that's okay. I want my skin to show through. I'm not looking to like blank everything out, but it ends up so pretty. And that little additional bronzy glow that's coming from the Essence stuff, I think it's really nice. So that's a pairing that, for whatever reason, I think they really look good together and they wear a long time on me. So I keep these two like stacked together so I'll remember, use them together. Another little combo I've come into is using kind of a lightweight concealer, not a super heavy duty coverage concealer, and topping it with Airspun. Airspun definitely gives you a little something extra. If anybody's used this, the translucent extra coverage, it does actually bump up your coverage a little bit. So I'm using like this L'Oreal True Match Serum Concealer, Radiant Serum Concealer. It says shade C1. And I've always thought, okay, it's an all right concealer, but I've never been over the moon. And then pairing it with Coty Airspun, it was like exactly what this product needed. I got to enjoy all the lightness and thinness of this product, but have, I guess, the staying power help and coverage boost that this provides, and they just really work. So I can just continue with my brush that I used for the foundation, just using the concealer side. And as you can see, I'm spreading this one out. And I'd say this is like a medium coverage concealer, okay? It's not doing the most, but the texture's really nice and it doesn't look makeup-y. So that's definitely a characteristic I know a lot of us want. But here we're just taking those dots. We're not doing a full blend. We're just making our dots take up more space on our face. Just dabbing it in. Look at that really pretty look on the skin. And something about the finish of that concealer pairing in with the IT Cosmetics and the Essence Duo. Everything looks really radiant on my face, but not too shimmery. It's not in that sense. It's just in a really like healthy surface of the skin sense. And that tone of concealer definitely does brighten me a bit on the under eye area. So we've done that, and then we come in with this Coty Airspun. Like, it's definitely one to play with different concealers and just see like which concealer does this one really vibe with. For me, I think it's taking it over top some of my lighter weight, sort of more natural looking concealers, and it's like just the perfect little addition. So we're taking this Morphe little mini sponge thing, triangle sponge. Just a minute, Rosie. Rosie needs back in the girls' room. Hit that chin. Once you've got it placed everywhere where you want to be set, which for me is under eye and T-zone, I come in with my Morphe under eye bullet brush, and I feel like I'm kind of shearing out the powder just a little. And look what that did on the under eye. I swear, it added a little something extra on my coverage. I feel set, but I'm not looking too thick because that concealer is definitely not a thick one. And you know, staying power just really delivers here. So I'm always really happy to share when some products you really wouldn't suspect to have such good staying power just combine and really do it well. So think about pairing your lighter weight concealers with Coty Airspun. Moving right along with the face, I've been playing with lots of different bronzers lately, and a combo I really like is matte bronzer plus glow bronzer. This one from CoverGirl, the True Blend Skin Enhancer in Caramel Truffle, really has a good amount of shimmer, and sometimes that's not a shimmer you necessarily pick up on for whatever reason, like right in front of your mirror, but then you get out in the world and it's like, oh, I am actually quite glowy. So when you use this as your sole bronzer, just know it's really going to show. But I can use it more sparingly when I just take care of the bronzer contour work with something matte first. This is the workhorse, and then this one gets to come in and shine, you know? So this is Essence Soft Touch Butter Bronzer. Shade is Golden Buttercream. So it just looks like that real basic bronzer. You know, I'm not saying it has to be this one, but it could end up being any number of just matte basic bronzers you like. I'm just saying, I like the overall effect and the way it looks on my skin with some wear when the CoverGirl is used as a little top it off step, not with the sole responsibility of doing all the sort of color boosting and bronzing and all that jazz. Look at this. This one's really pretty. And I'm kind of considering these powder steps, since I'm not like loading on a cream stick and stuff. Consider the fact that your powder bronzers can be set in your face in those other areas where the loose powder really didn't go. Think about it that way. And I'm taking it up kind of high because I'm knowing like we had a real brightening concealer and we don't need to be too bright. We can get sides of nose. This is just, for my skin tone, this one's real foolproof. So there's our Essence Soft Touch. And then we take our more glowy one, which we still, you know, love the look of it. Just want it in a little bit more light dose. I'm dabbing that across my forehead. It's a really pretty look. Kind of going over what I just did, but lightly. If there's anything left on my brush, like I'm kind of to that point where I know there can't be much, letting it come up almost to my under eye. And I've still got all that brightness. I'm not applying a ton of product here, but I'm just like letting whatever's left kind of come up. Take some of this, get down your neck. I had the craziest thing happen to me yesterday as Rhett was coloring with markers on the carpet, and I'm like, hey buddy, do you want a little table? Like we have a little TV tray type foldable table thing, because he still wants to be in the living room where the girls are. So I bring that in and I like take the top thing and then you hook the legs into it. And as I'm hooking the legs into it and really leaning in and pressing down, the thing flips, and so the flat table part is sideways and I fall onto it with my chest. So the impact of that little side of the table just cut me right here. Look, oh, there's my bruise right there, because the whole thing went, but the bruise doesn't really go all the way across. That's good at least. But there's my bronzer combo. Just saying, I like this best when it's not given the sole responsibility of bronzer and contour. And then a blush that looks really, really good when you are rocking kind of a bronzy look. I know I've sung the praises of this one before, but this is another Essence thing. The Soft Baked blush, shade is Cocoa Glaze. If you guys have not tried this one, like it looks so good, particularly with these tones that I've got going on. It's going to give us a little heat there, a little rosiness. But look how well that just plays with the bronzer that's already part of it. It's almost like I'm recommending a trio of things now, because this really piggybacks on top of the bronzer. And also gives your skin a subtle glow where you're like, okay, highlighter really isn't required here. You can let it come up a little bit. Let's sort of hit over the nose if you want to. Why do I love that tone so, so much? And then if you're like, well, the skin down here never got set, you can just pull out your powder puff again. There's honestly probably something still on it. And you can kind of dab over that lower jaw area or wherever. Alrighty friends, I just did brows and my eyeshadow. So for brows today, I used my Morphe Nano, so the really skinny brow pencil. I have it in the shade Cold Brew, but I also can wear the shade Java. And then I top that off with this e.l.f. brow laminating gel. Kind of milky looking at first, you have to brush it through a bit, but it does hold very well. Then on eyes, I used my e.l.f. eyeshadow primer. This little quad from Hard Candy, it's called Bear. Look at this nice basic quad. I've had this for a while, but I love just the ease. It looks kind of softly bronze when you work in that shimmer, but you've got a matte dark brown, mid-tone, light shade. Love it. Cold Brew from Hard Candy, that's my shadow stick that's only on the lower lash line, just looking kind of smudgy, and I know that'll wear a long time. Now the next thing, this mascara combo that I'm enjoying lately, this was not my idea. I could not remember the name of the person I saw recommend this on TikTok, but I found her. Her name is Kinsley and Maine Hair, and she's a hairstylist, and she was talking about this with her eye makeup routine. It's multiple coats of the Lash Paradise primer from L'Oreal with Extensionist from L'Oreal on top. So I've tried them, and they do work really well together. Like, I can get some big looking lashes. The catch is that for my lashes, I do have to curl them really well for this to work, because sometimes the idea of lots and lots of coats or building up a primer, like that can be enough to drop my curl. Even if these two loaded up fabulously, you know, I know the curl can still go, but if I really curl for a while, I'm talking probably more than 30 seconds holding the lash curler and pulsing, I can get a good lash look here, okay? But this is just building a lot of body, and then this one can build the length. I don't know that I'm applying quite as much as she did of this Lash Paradise primer, but it's still doing the job for me. And of course you want to make sure that gets dry before you start going on with your black mascara. But when I had seen how good her lashes looked, just, you know, without falsies and just using this combo, I literally went out and bought them. So white primer, you guys know, I mean, this is probably pretty similar to their voluminous primer. Trying to get it on there without like raking through a bazillion times. I'm gonna go ahead and start curling this eye, apply some, I'll probably go back over here, put a little more, and back here again, okay? For me, it's a couple coats of this, but curl them really good if your lashes are like mine. They are standing up over here. So now I go in with this primer, and you just wanna feel like the lashes are pretty well coated with this stuff, okay? Coat them up. Okay, see that? They're looking white. I'm not doing any of this on my lower lashes. I'm still staying true to my e.l.f. lash extender, tubing mascara down there. You use whatever tubing mascara you like. I just love knowing that whatever's on my lower lashes will not smudge. Let this get fully dried. Listen to the birds chirping outside, have some coffee. I'm going to be in quite the mom taxi mode today, because I like to joke sometimes that I'm an Uber, and I'll like the kids will get in and be like, okay, where are we going today? Belle has her final day of choreography. It's going to be all day. We joke that it's like going to cheer camp. They bring a choreographer in, they teach the kids the routine. She's absolutely loving the way it's coming together so far, but she got done late last night, and it's going to be an early morning today. They're going to go all day with that. Overlapping with that is an open gym for junior high cheer. That's preparing for tryouts next week, and she doesn't want to miss that. So I'm going to take her out of the choreography practice for an hour and a half, bump her over to the open gym, and bring her back. And Biddy and Ugga are just going to be along for the ride, I guess. I just added some more bronzer there while I was chatting, but yes, L'Oreal Extensionist. This is very lengthening just on its own. I think we talked about that last video, but just a really skinny brush, short bristles, easy to control. But this is where suddenly, you know, your white lashes now get coated up with black, and you're like, okay, I can see the length building. See that? I'm getting some long lashes now. I've just always thought the rule of thumb for lash primers was to use them really sparingly. And when she went in saying 3 coats or whatever, I'm like, Okay, I've never done that before, but the proof is in her lashes, so I'm gonna go for it. Now, I do love my Estee Lauder Little Black Primer because nothing really helps hold the curl like that one. That one, you don't have to spend the extra time with your lash curler. Like, it will freeze the curl. But part of the reason for my lack of frequency with that is just that it is a little more resistant to removal. Like, that stuff is really, really on there. So I'll use it and I'll pair it in with stuff and I continue to love it, but I really love when I can have a sense of ease with removing my eye look. So we're getting long over here on the left eye too. But I would say I'm doing 2 or 3 coats of this extensionist. Look what's happening to my natural lashes over here. They're taking off. Okay, this stuff can really build on itself. And also, I don't see any flaking. I don't see any problematic wear with it. Sometimes as this starts to dry, you have to kind of tip them up a little bit, make sure they're drying in the most upturned way that they can. But I almost feel like I've got on like a pair of more natural looking false lashes when I do this. I'm gonna do lash extender down here. Gonna let these get mostly dry, tip them up. e.l.f. Lash Extender just giving us a soft fringe. That's all we really need down here. All right, friends, it's mostly dry. The lashes are mostly dry, so that means if you can blink onto your finger and hardly anything's coming off on your finger, that's the sweet spot. You want to kind of blink down, and this is reinforcing the curl. And look at what my lashes are doing with this. And some might be like, my lashes do that with 1 coat of Dollar Tree, whatever. Well, my lashes need a lot of help. So for me, this is impressive. Look at that. Love it. I got a lip thing. I've been enjoying working with this Physicians Formula Bronze Booster Sun Tint, which comes in a berry shade and a bronze tint. I've got the bronze tint. In that first video where I was talking about this, I'm like, this seems like it's going to be more of a lip thing. It's a great little lip stain. Look at this color. I love it. And I've realized the lip combo that I love to get out of it. Just keep building that color, okay? It's just add this to the list of stains I enjoy. Look at that like rosy bronze, right? So good. So I put that on and I let it dry. Then we're gonna take a lip liner. This one from Nude by Nature. The shade is Sienna and it works really well here and I can like really define my edge. Now you could stop with the stain if you want to, but I do feel this levels up the look a little bit. It really cleans the outer edge of the lip. It matches so closely to the stain, you don't even really have to fill in. I'm just kind of blending. I'm hitting the border and I'm gently blending in. This is almost like a more opaque take on the exact color coming out of the stain. Ooh, I live for this type of shade. And then, trust me here, this is not that dark, okay, but it's the e.l.f. Glow Reviver, just their regular lip oil. Shade is Jam Session. This is not a super colorful gloss, but it gives like a little depth. Kind of a brownie, hint of red mixed into it. I love it. I love that color. It's a combo. Don't think like, oh, it's summertime, I just have to be light on my lips. No, I think this looks great with bronzy skin. It's like a color that I enjoy on my face 365 days a year, but actually its sweet spot is right now. So that's my look, you guys. It does definitely have a bronzy theme. I mean, on the eyes, and we worked in some bronzer on the face, but I just really enjoy the way my skin's looking, the way that all came together. I know I have great, surprisingly great staying power with this little combo. Little inspo maybe on how to work with your concealers that are lighter coverage. My bronzer and blush, like this I'm loving, this I'm loving. Lashes, did it take a few steps? Yeah, but is it kind of freeing to know that I can get to this place with my lashes without putting any false lashes on? I love that. So yeah, please share your product combos in the comments section because this is like the step beyond finding hidden gems, is hidden gem combos. So let me know, and thank you so much for spending time with me today, my friends. I will see you very soon. I love you. Bye.